A single seed rests in the palm of your hand. It is smaller than a raindrop, lighter than a breath, quiet enough to forget. Yet inside that brittle husk sleeps a library of instructions. How to calm a storming pancreas, how to polish the inner lining of an artery until it shines like river stone, how to coax a weary neuron back into song. Buddhist monks never knelt before altars of spectacle. They studied the ordinary, the overlooked, the quietly reliable. They learned that the body is not a battlefield to be conquered, but a garden to be irrigated. Give it the right seed, soaked in water and patience, and it remembers how to bloom. This is not a promise delivered by sunrise tomorrow. It is an invitation to enter a slower conversation, one measured in seasons rather than seconds. 6 common seeds, fenugreek, chia, flax, pumpkin, sunflower, sesame, will become your tutors. Each carries a doctorate in a single aspect of human physiology. Together they confer a collective wisdom that touches every organ, every hormone, every midnight thought that keeps you awake. The curriculum is simple. Place a spoonful in a bowl, add cool water, cover, walk away. While you dream, the seed dreams louder. Enzymes wake, anti-nutrients surrender. Minerals multiply, the hard shell softens into something you can actually chew. At dawn you drink the water and eat the softened kernel. You have not swallowed a supplement. You have swallowed a symposium, a council of elders who have been solving metabolic puzzles since before humans wrote the questions down. Fenugreek, the glucose whisperer. Hold a fenugreek seed between your fingers and you are holding a tiny thermostat for blood sugar. Ayurvedic physicians called it methi, meaning that which sweetens without sugar. Modern chromatography reveals why. An amino acid named 4-hydroxyisoleucine that nudges the pancreas toward moderation, coaxing beta cells to release insulin in gentle waves rather than panicked surges. The seed is also a sponge for excess glucose, its soluble fiber forming a viscous gel that slows carbohydrate absorption, the way a traffic light calms a speeding avenue. Clinical trials show that 10 grams of soaked fenugreek each morning can shave 30 points off a fasting glucose reading within 3 months. Quietly, without the fanfare of pharmaceuticals. But fenugreek does more than police sugar. Its mucilage coats the gastric lining, soothing ulcers irritated by coffee and worry. Its steroidal saponins escort cholesterol out of the body like a polite bouncer. Its phytoestrogens smooth the hot flash, soften the mood swing, tell the menopausal brain that the world is still safe. Soak 1 tablespoon in a cup of water. Drink the bitter water, chew the bitter seed. Taste the medicine and know that bitterness is often the signature of healing. Chia, the endurance runner. Chia was once currency in Mesoamerica. Warriors paid taxes in seeds that could keep them running for 24 hours on nothing but water and resolve. The Aztec word chia means strength, and strength is exactly what unfurls when the seed meets liquid. Each outer sheath unfolds into a perfect sphere of gel. 12 times its weight in water suspended in a lattice that looks under the microscope like a honeycomb designed by angels. This gel becomes a time-release capsule of hydration, delivering moisture and minerals long after you have forgotten you drank. Inside that gel lives the richest plant source of omega-3 fatty acids on land, alpha-linolenic acid that slips into cell membranes and makes them supple again, able to receive insulin, neurotransmitters, and love letters from other cells. 2 tablespoons provide 11 grams of fiber, 40% of what most modern intestines never see, feeding the trillion bacteria who repay you with butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that douses systemic inflammation, the way a summer rain quiets a forest fire. Chia is also a complete protein, rare among plants, carrying all 9 essential amino acids in the ratio. Your muscles need to repair after you have carried groceries, children, or the weight of your own anxious thoughts. Stir 2 tablespoons into coconut milk the night before. Wake to a pudding that tastes like possibility. Flax. The cellular scribe. 30,000 years ago, someone pressed a flax seed between stones and discovered oil that could light a lamp and calm a belly at the same time. Hippocrates wrote about flax for intestinal discomfort, a decorous phrase for the kind of constipation that accompanies grief. Modern science reveres flax for something even quieter. Its lignans, plant compounds that fit into estrogen receptors like a skeleton key, turning the lock just enough to block harmful estrogens from parking, but not enough to slam the door on the body's own rhythm. Because of this gentle modulation, daily flax consumption correlates with slower growth of breast and prostate tumors, with better survival rates, with hormonal moods that rise and fall like gentle hills instead of jagged cliffs. Flax is also the richest land source of omega-3 fatty acids, the membrane whisperer that keeps arteries slippery and neurons chatty. But the seed is shy. It locks its treasures inside a wall harder than medieval stone. Grind it fresh each morning or soak it whole overnight until the mucilage swells into a soothing gel that coats the digestive tract, the way dawn coats a meadow in silver. 1 tablespoon ground, stirred into oatmeal or blended into a smoothie, delivers 6 grams of fiber, 3 grams of protein, and the feeling that somewhere inside you a scribe is rewriting your cellular story toward mercy. Pumpkin, the midnight guardian. Native Americans planted pumpkin seeds beside corn and beans. The 3 sisters who together formed a complete diet and a complete philosophy. The corn reaches skyward, the bean hugs the corn, the pumpkin spreads wide leaves that shade the soil and keep moisture for all. Inside the pumpkin's hollow cathedral rest flat green seeds the Spanish called pepitas, little seeds, though there is nothing little about their mineral density. 1 ounce carries 20% of daily zinc, the gatekeeper of immunity, the moderator of testosterone, the quiet custodian of prostate health. Zinc also fuels the conversion of melatonin, the hormone that lowers the curtain on consciousness. Eat a handful 2 hours before bed and you may notice dreams arriving more gently, the night wrapping you like a quilt instead of a straitjacket. Magnesium lives here too, 200 milligrams per handful, the mineral that lets muscles exhale and arteries relax. Studies show that men who eat pumpkin seeds daily experience fewer midnight bathroom trips, less inflammation in the prostate, and deeper sleep cycles measured not by questionnaires but by wires on their scalps in university labs. Soak 1/4 cup in salted water overnight. Rinse, pat dry, roast at the lowest oven setting until they pop like tiny drums. Eat them warm or cold or ground into pesto that replaces pine nuts with something humbler and therefore more generous. Sunflower, the captured sun. A sunflower turns its face to follow the sun across the sky, a practice botanists call heliotropism, and poets call devotion. When the flower finally bows, it reveals a disk crowded with seeds that have spent the entire season storing light. Vitamin E is the stored sunlight, 49% of daily need in a single ounce, an antioxidant that protects cell membranes from the oxidative rust that accumulates whenever we worry. Breathe traffic air, or eat fried food. Vitamin E is also the fertility vitamin. Studies show that men who consume sunflower seeds daily have higher sperm counts and less DNA fragmentation, while women report milder menstrual cramps and steadier moods. Selenium hides here too, a trace mineral that turbocharges the glutathione system, the body's internal hazmat team that neutralizes mercury, alcohol, and the byproducts of chronic stress. The seed is generous but not flashy. Its flavor is mild, its crunch obliging. Sprinkle an ounce over salad, blend into hummus or soak overnight and stir into morning oats. Watching the gray February of your complexion slowly brighten into July. Sesame, the unlocked cave. Open sesame, the thief cried in the Arabian tale, and a stone door rolled back to reveal gold coins stacked like prayer wheels. The phrase survives because it is universally true. Sesame opens things. In the body, it opens calcium channels, ushering minerals into bones that thought their deposit days ended at 30. It opens blood vessels, lowering systolic pressure by an average of 8 points in 45 days. According to a study that used nothing but 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds daily. It opens liver detoxification pathways, the sesame lignans acting like gentle ushers that escort inflammatory toxins out of the theater before they can disrupt the second act. Black sesame, the unhulled seed, carries more calcium than milk and more antioxidants than blueberries. White sesame, humbled and hulled, offers a milder flavor and still enough nutrition to make bread feel like sacrament. Soak 2 tablespoons for 2 hours. Drain, blend with 3 cups water, strain, and you have sesame milk that tastes like liquid halva and contains more bioavailable calcium than any dairy product on the shelf. Or toast lightly, grind with olive oil and garlic. And you have tahini, the sauce that turns chickpeas into hummus and weekday vegetables into edible forgiveness. The circle completed. Together the 6 seeds form a mandala. Fenugreek for glucose, chia for membranes, flax for hormones, pumpkin for minerals, sunflower for antioxidants, sesame for bones and blood pressure. Each morning you set 6 small bowls on the counter like a monk arranging offerings. You cover them with cool water, cover the bowls with a cotton cloth and walk away. While you sleep, the seeds confer among themselves, swapping enzymes, surrendering inhibitors, preparing to become more than the sum of their parts. At dawn you drink the waters, bitter, neutral, nutty, sweet, and chew the softened kernels. You have not swallowed a supplement. You have swallowed a symposium, a council of elders who have been solving metabolic puzzles since before humans wrote the questions down. The body responds in its own language. Fewer spikes on the glucometer, smoother waves on the heart monitor, deeper valleys on the sleep graph, softer edges on the mood scale. Changes arrive not like fireworks but like seasons. First a faint green at the tips of branches, then a full-leafed canopy you can rest beneath without understanding how the seed became shade. Trust the process, the monks would say. Trust that a handful of patience each morning can rewrite the chemistry of blood, the flexibility of arteries, the conversation between neurons. Trust that the same force that cracks a seed open can crack despair apart, letting something green and irrepressible push through. Start tonight. Choose 1 seed, only 1, place it in water, whisper thank you to the darkness and go to sleep. Tomorrow you will wake into a laboratory where you are both subject and scientist, where the variable is kindness measured in milliliters, where the hypothesis is that you deserve to feel well. Repeat daily until the data confirms what the monks always knew. The treasure was never hidden in a cave across 7 deserts. It was waiting inside the smallest thing you could hold without noticing, asking only for water and time to become everything you needed. Let the first soaked seed be your covenant. When the sun returns, drink the water slowly, as if it were liquid dawn, and chew the kernel with the patience of someone decoding a love letter. Taste the faint bitterness, the nutty sweetness, the mineral salt. Each flavor a promise that your body is already revising its own script. Day by day the promises accumulate. Steadier energy at 3 p.m., a knee that no longer announces the weather, a dream that returns you to the same peaceful lake. One morning you will realize that the ache you carried for years has forgotten your address, that your reflection looks back with eyes clear as rainwater. Keep the bowls on the counter. Let them stand like 6 small bells that ring silently while you sleep. Over weeks, the ritual becomes reflex. Soak, cover, breathe, release, until the kitchen smells faintly of earth after rain and your hands move without instruction. Friends may notice the quiet in your voice, the unhurried way you rise from a chair, the absence of complaint. Tell them only that you have started listening to seeds. They will understand or they won't, but the seeds will keep listening to you. Years from now, some storm will come. Loss, diagnosis, grief, and you will walk to the counter in the dark. Set out the bowls, pour the water. While the seeds swell, you will feel your own heart follow suit, expanding instead of breaking, because you have practiced this alchemy every morning. Small thing, water, time, mercy. And when the storm passes, you will still be here, steadier than before. Proof that healing is not a single dramatic revelation, but the quiet accumulation of mornings when you chose to begin again. So start tonight. 1 seed, 1 bowl, 1 whispered thank you. The cave opens. The treasure breathes. The light you have been searching for moves through your bloodstream like a sunrise you can taste. Open sesame, open yourself. Step inside the wealth that was always yours and will never leave.